Okay. Tish'a BeAb. We think about Bayit Rishon, we think about Bayit Sheni. Is there a connection between them in our fasting, and how do they connect? I'm going to attempt to try to bring it all together, and maybe at the end even go into why we're still fasting and should we be fasting. So there's a book of Zekharya, Nabi of Zekharya in Tirei Asar. He was Bayit Sheni. Let's go to an earlier Zekharya that is only mentioned once in the entire Tanakh. He's mentioned in the Bri HaYamim. Most people aren't aware of him. Usually everything that's in the Bri HaYamim has its counterpart in Melachim. Zekharya is not mentioned in Melachim, only in the Bri HaYamim. And you'll see at the top of your sheet over there, you see that section from the Bri HaYamim, and it's talking about the Kohen Gadol Yehoyada, and dealing with the king being Yehoash. So look at the Pesukim. Ba'harei mot Yehoyada ba'u sari Yehuda v'yishtahavu l'melech az shamah melech alehem. So Yehoyada was the Kohen Gadol. He basically raised Yehoash. He put him into the kingdomship at the age of 7. Everything was running very, very nicely. Yehoyada was a wonderful Nabi, and he's a Kohen Gadol as well. And he was able to bring up Yehoash in Derchei Hashem, and he even got him to work on restoring the Beit HaMikdash. Beit HaMikdash that was built by Shlomo HaMelech, Yehoash actually rededicated, brought it back to life. Yehoyada passes away. All of a sudden now you get the Sarei Yehuda. You get these chief officers. You get the government officials of Yehuda. They don't like the status quo. They don't like religion. They want things changed. You know, we have beautiful trees. We can worship the trees now. We have the Asherah. It's a wonderful way to go. The Avodah Zarah. And the Pasuk continues. V'ya'azbu et bet Adonai Elohei abotehim. He just rededicated the Beit HaMikdash, but they left it. V'ya'abdu et ha'asherim v'et ha'asevim. Okay, and they went to worship the trees and the grasses. V'hi chesef al Yehuda v'Yerushalayim b'ashmatam zot. Obviously, Borei Olam got angry, and he wanted to take out his wrath on them. V'yishlach bahem nibi'im. As we know, Borei Olam is full of mercy. Let's try to warn the people first. V'yishlach bahem nibi'im lahashivam el Adonai v'ya'idu bam v'lo ezinu. So he sent nibi'im, various nibi'im, to come talk to them. The Bri HaYamim doesn't tell us who the nibi'im are, but obviously whatever they said, nothing was heeded. All of a sudden we come to Zekharya. Veruach Elohim labesha et Zekharya ben Yehoyada hakohen v'ya'amod me'al la'am. All of a sudden the prophecy descended upon Zekharya ben Yehoyada hakohen, and he has this prophecy, he has an epiphany. He's going to speak to the people. Vayomer lahem ko amar ha'Elohim lama atem oberim emizvot Adonai ve'lo taslihu ki azabtem et Adonai ve'ya'azob etchem. Why? Why are you transgressing the mizvot of Hashem? You're not going to succeed. It's not going to work. You're leaving God. Once you leave God, God leaves you. Vayikshiru alav vayirgimuhu avin b'mizvat hamelech b'hasar beit Adonai. They didn't even give him a chance to speak. They didn't like what he said. King, we don't like what this guy's saying. This guy's out. Stone him. They stoned him right then and there. Velo zachar Yoash hamelech ha'chesed asher asa Yehoyada aviv imo v'yaruch et beno uchmoto amar yere Adonai v'yidrosh. So obviously there's no hakarat tov over here. Yehoash, who was raised by Zekharya's father Yehoyada, no longer cared about him or anything good that was done for him. We don't care about this guy anymore. We have my new friends, the Sarei Yehuda. They came to help me out, and we're going to worship the Avodah Zarah. We no longer need Hashem. We don't need his Nebi'im. We don't need the Beit HaMikdash. We don't need anything. But Zekharya left with a message. Yere Adonai v'yidrosh. May God see what has happened, and may He take into accountability all of you that did this to me. So, Is this connected to Tish'a BeAb? Is it not connected to Tish'a BeAb? The first thing, as a side point, if we look at that pasuk, when Zekharya calls out to them, he says, "Vayomer lehem ko amar Elohim, lama atem oberim mizvat Adonai velo taslihu." It should make us think about Moshe Rabbeinu talking to the Meragelim. And through our tradition, we say the Meragelim were the first episode that we have with Tish'a BeAb. And the pasuk over there is the exact same thing. Vayom Moshe, lama ze atem oberim et pi Adonai vehi lo tislah. But it's the same lashon. It's the same connection, showing us that Meragelim dealing with that night of Tish'a BeAb, and now Zekharya with Tish'a BeAb. But that's obviously not enough. What's really going on over here? So we have a story in the Gemara. In the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin, we also have it in Kohel Rabbah, we have it in Echad Rabbati, we have it in Gittin. But the story in Sanhedrin seems to really focus on all the points more than other stories. And this is a story about Nebuzaradan. Nebuzaradan, another character that's only mentioned in one place in the Tanakh, at the end of Sefer Melachim, I believe Melachim Bet Perek Kaf Bet, if I'm not mistaken, Kaf He. And he's referred to, I believe, as Sar Tabahim. Let me just get the exact, Rabbi Tabahim, Abed Melech Babel. And so now, this Nebuzaradan comes in. We don't know who he is, other than this one reference to him in the Tanakh. But the Gemara is going to connect Nebuzaradan and Zekharya. So if you look, let's see, on the second side of the sheet, you see the second starts Haza. You have that part over there, Haza Dameh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Haza Dameh de Zekharya Dava Karatah. So Nebuzaradan got to the Beit HaMikdash. Okay, he's there to destroy. He's there to destroy the Beit HaMikdash, take over Yerushalayim, because he's working, of course, for his boss, the king of Babel, Nebuchadnezzar. He gets there and he sees boiling blood. He doesn't know it's Zekharya's blood, but the Gemara is telling us it's Zekharya's blood that's boiling there. So in other words, backdrop over here is that Zekharya was killed 250 years earlier. The stain of the blood is there, and it's still bubbling and seething, and nobody was able to get rid of that stain. And it's obviously visible. Amar lehu. He turns to the people in the temple, in the Beit HaMikdash. My hai, what is this? Amru le, dam zebahim hud ishtapich. It's, blood of some animals that spilled. Amar lehu, aite ve'anse imidamo. Bring me some animals. I want to kill them myself. I want to see if they're really the same thing or not. Kaseh velo idmu. He killed the animals, and it didn't look like the same blood. It didn't bubble the same way. It didn't have the same coloration. Amar lehu, galuli. Okay, you better reveal to me. You better tell me the truth. V'ila sarikna lechu lebasaraychu b'masrika de parzela. If not, I will comb your flesh with iron combs. Amru rather. So they told him, Hai kohen v'nabihu de'nebe lehu liYisrael b'hurbanad Yerushalayim v'qataluhu. This is the blood of a kohen and nabi that prophesies to Yisrael about the Hurban of Yerushalayim. They didn't like what they heard, and they murdered him. Amar lehu, ana mefayisna le. Let me try to come and pacify his blood. Okay, maybe then it'll stop boiling. He said to the priests, bring me all the sages over here, bring your hachamim, I'm going to kill them over the blood. And he killed all the hachamim. Okay? The blood didn't cease. He brought the school children. He killed them over the blood, and still the blood did not cease boiling. He brought the young priests. He killed them over the blood, and still the blood did not cease. عادي قتال أدويات 94 ربو ولوناح. In the end, he kept killing and killing and killing and killing until he killed. He doesn't tell you who else he killed, but he killed 940,000 people over this blood, and still the boiling blood did not cease. Karab lagabbe. So Nebuzaradan approaches this blood, and he says, Amar. Now, by this point, he knows whose blood it is. Zekharya, Zekharya. Tobim shebahen ibbatim. The best of the best. I killed them all for you. Should I keep killing? Should I kill even more people? The blood finally stopped boiling. At that point, Tish'a BeAb. All of a sudden, he contemplated the thought of repentance, of Tish'a BeAb. Amar, Ma him shelo ibdu illa nefesh ahat, kachahu gabra. Those people who only killed one person, referring to they only killed Zekharya, and all this is going on for this one person. Ma teheve alay. What about me? I'm a mass murderer. Arak shaddar purtita lebeteh ve'ed gayyar. He deserted the army. He dispatched a last will and testament to his house, and he converted to Judaism. So all of a sudden, this mass murderer had Tish'a BeAb. What's the connection of this Tish'a BeAb over here to what's going on with Zekharya? And why does the Gemara feel it's important to tell us such a story? Is there a connection for us, and does it mean anything to us? The only way to understand it, at least I think, is by first looking at Kinot. The Kinot, as we know, intertwine facts that we know from Tanakh, as well as the facts from the Gemara, but various midrashim and oral testimony, oral history that we've lost over the years. But Hachamim kept a lot of the things, and we have those things in the Kinot, especially through the writings of Rabbi Yehuda HaLevi. Now, what brought me to this, and I was showing my friend Joey Miz before, is that I have a small pamphlet over here. Pamphlet that was printed in Halab in 1897. And it's in Judeo-Arabic. And it's some Kinot in Judeo-Arabic. They're not in Hebrew. It's just, Arabic written in Hebrew letters. And it's the whole story of Zekharya, an entire Kina, of 60 verses. All about this Zekharya, not the second Zekharya that we're still going to get to. And looking at it, you see how the whole concept over here is how we have to change our ways. And that's the only way things will change. There's an issue of Tish'a BeAb over here that's not just about Nebuzaradan. Obviously, if Nebuzaradan has this issue of Tish'a BeAb, so it must apply to us as well. So if you look at your sheets, you'll see I tried to copy the Kina of Rabbi Yehuda HaLevi. And there's no reason to go through the whole thing because we see the story, he's just repeating the story as we know it. But if we look at the last verse, which is right above that Hazad Amir that I read to you, and only after I copied it I noticed that this version is incomplete, unfortunately. So I'll read it to you in a second here. Let me get that.
Which country is it from?
I said this was, what do you call this?
Yeah.
This is from Aleppo.
Oh, really?
This is actually from Aleppo, yeah.
You can keep it.
Okay. So the last verse of this Kina reads like this: Hosif laharoch nashim im yonekei shadayim. Wait, it's not all there though. V'shafach al dam naki et damam kamayim v'dam oleh ben demehem kiyam v'or Misraim. Ade nasa Nebuzaradan einav l'shamayim v'yomer halo dai ledam bibno Yerushalayim hakhala ata oseh l'she'rit ha'shibya v'az shakat dam naki v'hereb nakam revaya. So here's the whole point over here. The Kina ends with a nehama. The nehama is an upbeat note. It's a note of consolation. And this is the hereb nakam revaya. The sword of vengeance had drunk its fill. Okay? And the same way that Gemara is giving us the story, immediately the blood ceased. Once he spoke to Zekharya and Vishakat Vanah. So if we go back to the Gemara, we see the thoughts of repentance that entered Nebuzaradan's mind. And the Gemara tells us his thought that the price of murdering one person, obviously so much more for me who murdered so many more people. So Tish'a BeAb is the key factor. So no matter how corrupt, each person has the potential to change for the better, even the bloody butcher Nebuzaradan. If you look even at the 56th stanza over here of the Arabic, okay, you want to read it for us, Joe? No. Okay. So it tells you over here.
You said it's Hebrew letters.
Hebrew letters. But if you don't know the language, what's going to help?
Oh, there's no nekudah?
No. قلبي توعاني لرجعتكم حتى تجي فرحتكم متى ألا يفرج عليكم وتبكوا تذكروني. I'm looking for your happiness. For when's the happiness going to happen? When you return. لرجعتكم. When you come back. متى ألا يفرج عليكم. That's when we have the faraj. That's the redemption. وتبكوا تذكروني. And that's when you come back to visit me again. So when you do this Tish'a BeAb, that's when you're going to be able to come back to Yerushalayim to visit me. Without Tish'a BeAb, we have in the Kina, it's not going to happen. So return to worship Hashem, hear His voice, and come and dwell with Him in Yerushalayim. And only the Gemara mentions Nebuzaradan's Tish'a BeAb. We don't read about it, obviously, in any place in Tanakh, and we don't know about it from any place else except from, what do you call it? From that mention in the Gemara. The Kinot are both only hinting to it. So Rabbi Levi is trying to keep us focused on Zekharya and the boiling blood, not on the Tish'a BeAb. And the central theme of the destruction of each Beit HaMikdash, the same thing is the key force that keeps us focused today. Because think about it like this: you have two fasts that are 25 hours, Tish'a BeAb and Yom Kippur. The only fast. So what's the connection between them? So Yehuda Levi is teaching us on a day of Tish'a BeAb, we as a nation, we cannot afford to ignore our past mistakes and our shame. The stain of the blood on the floor just won't go away, even after 250 years between the time Zekharya was murdered and the time that Nebuzaradan came. Unless we acknowledge it, we see it, we feel it, we understand it, we educate our children about it, there's never going to be a connection. People tell you today, Tish'a BeAb, who needs it anymore? It's something that happened so long ago. We have no connection to it. There's a connection, and we have to keep that connection going until we don't need to anymore. But that time, unfortunately, is still here. And if we don't realize what it is, then there's going to be a terrible societal price to pay. To understand what's going on and the connection, that's when we move now to the second Zekharya, who came about 300 years later. Okay? And that's Zekharya ben Berachia, and I have in front of you the two perakim from Zekharya that deal with the whole thing. And I think the only way to really enjoy it and to appreciate what's going on is by actually reading the perakim and explaining them. So Zekharya HaNabi lived approximately the year 520 BCE, and he returned to Israel from Galut Babel. He was part of Shibat Zion. There was a king named Koresh, King Cyrus, and he allowed the Jews to return to Yerushalayim and even to rebuild the Beit HaMikdash after this 70-year exile that we know about from Sefer Ezra. But this didn't happen right away, and it took about 20 years later until Daryavish, in his second year, gave permission to actually start the building. So where we're starting over here in Zekharya Perek Zayin, that's the fourth year of Daryavish HaMelech. And we're going to see now. ויהי בשנת 4 לדריווש המלך, היה דבר אדוני אל זכריה ב4 חודש התשיעי בכסלו. וישלח בית אל שר 10 ורחם מלך ואנשיו לחלות את פני אדוני. And here they start. לאמור אל הכהנים אשר לבית אדוני צבאות ואל הנביאים לאמור האבכה בחודש החמישי הנזר כאשר עשיתי זה כמה שנים. So a delegation from Babylonia shows up, and they're asking, I have a question. Do we still fast? Do we still cry? Do we still wail? Do we still mourn? You started building Beit HaMikdash 2 years ago. It's halfway up. Okay? Must we still continue to fast? Or maybe it's even forbidden to fast. Pesukim continue. God reveals himself to Zekharya and says, אמור אל כל עם הארץ ואל הכהנים לאמור כי שמתם בשפות בחמישי ובשביעי וזה 70 שנה, הסום שמתוני אני, וכי תאכלו וכי תשתו, הלא אתם האוכלים ואתם השותים. Hashem says, I never told you to fast. I never instructed you to fast. You, the people, you instituted it. You instituted the fast to remember Yerushalayim. It's something that you felt you needed to do on your own. The fast doesn't honor God. Okay, it's not in His interest. Okay, because whether you fast or don't fast, Borei Olam is the same. Nothing's changing. It's only when a nation knows how to mourn its losses will it also understand and know redemption. Okay, but since you're here and you're asking, do you want to know what God really wants? That's where everything's going to switch now. And he's telling you over here, pay attention. Pay attention. Where Pasuk Zayin. Hello et hadebarim asher kara Adonai beyad hanibiyim harishonim biyot Yerushalayim yoshevet ushleva ve'areha sibibotea ve'hanech ve'ashefela yoshev. Pay attention to what the earlier Nebi'im said, to what Yeshaya said, to what Yirmiyah said. We have a whole Perek in Yeshaya, Perek Nun Hayat. We have Yirmiyah throughout the book, but especially Perek Kav Bet, if you see what's going on over there. And he said in the good old days of the first Bet HaMikdash, they spoke to you as a nation, but you didn't heed. You didn't listen to what they had to say. And it says, Hello, et hadevarim asher kara Adonai beyad hanibiyim harishonim biyot Yerushalayim yoshev ushleva va'arei sivotea va'nech v'sheva yoshev v'hi debar Adonai Zekharya lemor כה אמר אדוני צבאות לאמור משפט אמת שפוטו וחסד רחמים עשו איש את אחיו ואלמנה ויתום גר ועני אל תעשוקו ורעת איש אחיו אל תחשבו בלבבכם. This is what it is. This is what Borei Olam wants from you. He wants justice. He wants loyalty. He wants compassion. He doesn't want you defrauding other people. He doesn't want you to plot evil against one another. He wants you to actually have a society of people that are true. True people caring for one another. That's what Borei Olam wants. And until that happens, you could fast from here till tomorrow. It's not going to change anything because you have to change yourselves. That's what's going to happen. Okay? The fasting isn't important. It's great to remember Yerushalayim and what happened, but it's more important to remember why it happened. And the why is these Pesukim. Bayit Rishon was destroyed because we did not act properly in our dealings with other people. We didn't listen to the teachings, to the guidance, to the writings of any of the Nebi'im. They yelled, they screamed, they pleaded with us. We just ignored them. So if you want the second temple to be a success, that's what I'm telling you over here, and you want it to last, make sure you don't repeat the previous sins. If you can do the exact same thing that they did earlier, nothing's changing. God is not interested in fasting. So you're sitting here now, okay, if God's not interested, why are we fasting today? Why bother fasting? The fasting is for us to remember why. And something that most of us have forgotten over the course of hundreds of years. We don't think about it anymore. Oh, it's another fast day. We have to fast. We have to fast. But why are we fasting? Because we're not good people. We don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. We all have our own form of corruption, some way, somehow, that we're not doing the right thing. And if we're doing the right thing, we're not influencing our friend and our neighbor to do the right thing. And that's what it's all about. Borei Olam wants us to follow the Torah and Mitzvot. Torah Mitzvot is not only, follow Shabbat and eat kosher. It's about so many other things. Okay? You have all the laws. If you think about the Beit HaMikdash was also a place where you had the seat of economy and industry and the judges and the scholars. Everybody was there on Har HaBayit. So if you wanted to know the positive, weights and measures, you went to the Beit HaMikdash to find out as well. That's what you did. You were able to conduct honest dealings in business as opposed to corrupt dealings. So that's all part of what's going on over there. And this is why the first Beit HaMikdash is destroyed. So what about what we hear about the first Beit HaMikdash was destroyed because of 3 cardinal sins? They tell you, Shifhir Damim, Avodah Zarah, Gilui Arayot. So if you look at the Haftarah that we read this morning from Yirmiyah, okay, Perek Het and Tet in Yirmiyah, he doesn't talk about that at all. Okay? And we only see it hinted to in Melachim Bet Perek Kaf Aleph. But we don't find this concept of Avodah Zarah Shifichut Damim and Gilul Arayot. It's something that Gemara teaches us about, but we don't actually see it in the Tanakh.
See, Avodah Zarah all over Yirmiyah. It's all he talks about.
Okay, he talks about it, but he's not talking about three things exactly for the for the Hurban.
So the rabbis collated that for us? What?
It seems that they picked it out of Melachim, and if we go back to the story of the first Zekharya, obviously there's an allusion over there to it. If you want to deal with the Shifichut Damim, yeah, they stoned the first Zekharya, they killed him. The Avodah Zarah, they were worshipping the Asherah, and the Gilul Arayot, if you look at more of the Arabic phrases over here, it tells you about how they actually, the Buzaradan actually took women and raped them over there at the Beit HaMikdash. So that's a form of Gilul Arayot. So there is obviously an oral history that goes back to that, but it seems that the main problem over here was that, as Zekharya is telling us over here, that we did not treat people fairly. Mishpat emet shefotu v'hesur hamim asu ish dahi v'admana v'yetom gil v'ani, etc. That's really the main thing. That's what has to be going on, and we're not doing that. So Zekharya's Nebu'ah tells us that we don't fast to remember what happened, rather to remember why it happened. And that's the key factor. If we remember why, we hopefully won't make the same mistakes. We can't just sit around and wait for the Ge'ulah. We must be active participants in bringing about the Ge'ulah. And it's only going to happen when we change our ways.
But no one's going to be perfect even with the Ge'ulah.
Nobody's going to be perfect.
Even men, I'm saying.
So what do we do?
Still fast?
So we ignore it?
Are we still going to fast in the Ge'ulah? I mean, people are still people.
Second Beit HaMikdash, they fasted.
Huh?
During the second Beit HaMikdash, they did fast.
So the third Beit HaMikdash one,
We're hoping-
it's going to be overturned.
We're hoping it
Will not change it.
Are we having a third? God didn't ask for it first 2 times.
Are there any hints? Are there any hints?
Let's find. Let's see if it's a tough question.
It'll be 13 million people, 20 million, 40 million people are going to all fit in the same Beit HaMikdash. I'm just saying. I'm just posing it out.
I hear you. No problem. Okay, let's go to the next pedic. Okay, because the rest of this pedic. No, it's good. I'm fine with the questions.
We all fit in one wedding?
I don't know about 40 million.
Yes, every time Shane see on the
yeah, the wall stretch. So pedic het. Vahi debar Adonai Sebaot lemor. Ko amar Adonai Sebaot kinneti l'Sion kin'a gedola v'chema gedola kinneti la. Ko amar Adonai shabti el Sion v'shachanti b'toch Yerushalayim b'nikre'a Yerushalayim ir ha'emet v'har Adonai Sebaot har HaKodesh. So Yerushalayim has to be a city of social justice. That's the first thing Borei Olam tells us. Then he continues, Ko amar Adonai Sebaot עוד ישבו זקנים וזקנות ברחובות ירושלים ואיש משענתו בידו מרוב ימים ורחובות העיר ימלאו ילדים וילדות משחקים ברחובותיה כה אמר אדוני צבאות כי יפלא בעיני שארית העם הזה ועמהם גם בעיני יפלא נאום אדוני צבאות. So there has to be political growth, there has to be economic growth, all that's going to happen, and once that happens you're going to see all types of people are going to be living in Yerushalayim, more or less like we're seeing now. So we have part of the physical part of the prophecy. It seems part of it at least is here. And he continues, Ko amar Adonai Sebaot, Hineni Moshiach et ami me'eres Mizrach, u'me'eres mebo hashamesh, vehebeti otam v'shachenu betoch Yerushalayim, v'hayu li la'am v'ani yeh lahem le'elohim be'emet u'b'sdaka. Again, repeating the concept of emet and tzedakah, the gathering of the exiles, but it all has to be true. Everything has to be true. We see Pasuk Gimal, we saw he said Yerushalayim Eid HaEmet, and now over here in Pasuk Het, he says Be'emet. The Emet. Everything has to be real, everything has to be truth, everything justice, everything is holiness. He continues, Ko amar Adonai Sebaot, Tehezakna yedechem hashoma'im b'yamim ha'ele, et ha'debarim ha'ele mipi ha'nebi'im asher b'yom יוסד בית אדוני צבאות ההיכל להיבנות כי לפני הימים ההם שכר האדם לא נהיה ושכר הבהמה איננה וליוסף ולבא אין שלום מן השר ואשלח את כל האדם איש ברעהו ועתה לא חיים הראשונים אני לשארית העם הזה נאום אדוני צבאות כי זרע השלום הגף מתתן פריה והארץ תתן יבולה והשלום יתן תלם ונחלתי את שארית העם הזה את כל אלה והיה כאשר הייתם כללה בגויים בית יהודה, בית ישראל, כן אושיע אתכם וייתן ברכה, אל תיראו, תחזקנה ידיכם. Again, everything is about, once we have this point of emet, then we get into better economy, we have future prosperity. And that's what it's all about. So it seems that we skipped over part and we got to the second part. How? I don't know yet. כי כה אמר אדוני צבאות כאשר זממתי להרע לכם בהכסיף עבודכם אותי אמר אדוני צבאות ולא ניחמתי כן שבתי זממתי בימים האלה להרטיב את ירושלים ואת בית יהודה אל תיראו. Hashem wants to bring about the redemption, he's telling you over here. But for it to happen, he has, everything has to repeat itself. He has to repeat himself again because he knows we're not getting the message. He's telling us again, speak truth. Everything has to be real justice. Don't even think ill of one another. No false swears, no false promises. These are all the things that I hate. That's what Hashem is telling us. So, render truth, sound judgment, don't plot evil, don't love to swear falsely. All these things have to stop for things to change. Without those things happening, nothing's going to happen to us. כה אמר אדוני צבאות סום הרביעי וסום החמישי וסום השביעי וסום העשירי יהיה לבית יהודה לשום שמחה ולמועדים טובים והאמת והשלום אהבו. Very, very famous pasuk, okay, and this is the answer that they came for, but they never received an answer. He's telling you, yeah, eventually these days, all these fast days, okay, Sum Harbi'i is Shiva Asar Tammuz, Hamishi is Tish'a BeAb, Hashibi'i is Sum Gedalia, and Asiri is Asra B'Tevet. They're all going to eventually change to Sason, Simha, Mu'adim Tovim, okay? But only one, V'ha'emet, V'ha'shalom Ehabu. You have to have truth to have peace. You have to have peace to have truth. They have to work with one another. If they're not working in tandem, nothing can happen. And so once we're characterized as God's nation, one of truth and justice, then there'll be no reason to fast anymore. All 4 of these days will become holidays. So we have to be recognized as God's nation. We have to be recognized as the people that are doing what Borei Olam is prescribing to us in the Torah, in the Nebi'im, in the Ketuvim. If that doesn't happen, then that's the answer to Lisa's question. Yeah, our people are going to be, we have to be viewed as that. Yes, not everybody's always going to be just. Not everything's going to be perfect. But we have to be viewed as a nation of justice. And
by everybody? By the whole world?
By the world.
I mean,
yeah.
Is that ever going to happen?
Is it ever going to happen?
Yeah.
According to the Nebi'im, it's going to happen. It's very hard for us to envision it, but yes, it's definitely going to happen. Because here, even reading what we read about over here, the little pieces about people living again in Yerushalayim, we couldn't imagine that before. Okay, so same way we couldn't imagine that, and it did come, to fruition. I'm sure this is going to come about as well.
I mean, the world does recognize what Israel's doing medically and socially, culturally around Africa.
They recognize it, but to what degree? They hate us.
They hate
us, and most of the world, even if they recognize it, they still won't accept it. They won't accept that we did it or that we're behind it. They just don't. So this is it's a very relevant prophecy for today. So Elliot was asking, can we learn this on Tish'a BeAb? I think this is all very befitting Tish'a BeAb. This all really applies to Tish'a BeAb.
He's saying because you can't learn.
Yeah, he's saying that you can't learn things other than, because Shulchan didn't mention Zekharya. Shulchan mentions Yirmiyah, but he didn't mention Zekharya. Okay.
And it's the 10th today.
Yeah, the 10th. And this is a Nehama as well. Okay. But the truth is, this is all about Tish'a BeAb. This is part of the history of Tish'a BeAb, and it's telling us the reason as to why we're fasting and what we're supposed to get out of the fast. So it is a relevant prophecy. The redemption process, it's not magical. Okay? It requires hard work on our part. And once we work at it, then Hashem will fulfill his part of the deal. Now, obviously, people want to say, so do we still have to fast? Yeah, we're looking at Yerushalayim, it's rebuilt, the country is growing, it's flourishing, we're helping out the world in different arenas, whether it's medical, whether technological, whether, simplest thing is bringing water to Africa. And these questions came up, in 67, once they captured Har HaBayit. obviously we never really took Harabait into our own hands because we still can't go up there. We still can't do anything.
Today it's in the news right now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. People we know trying to get on.
Trying to get on and they can't.
Michal's there. She can't get on. There's police. Thousands of people.
It's terrible. So, if you look at the bottom, of the page, you'll see Harambam. Harambam has in Hilchot Ta'aniyot, Perek He, and each one of these halachot are worth reading. Yesham Yamim Shekol Yisrael Mit'anim Bahem. There are days that all Jews all fast on these days because of the sorrows that happened on them. So Harambam is obviously in sync with what we're reading in the Nebi'im, that we have to awaken ourselves and we have to repent. And it's a remembrance for our evil ways. Because we did those things in the past, that's what caused our troubles in the past. And if we continue on that path, obviously we're going to see more troubles. But if we change our ways, things will change for the better. And he tells you in the second halakha the names of the fasts and what they are. In the third one, he deals with Tish'a BeAb. And he tells you the 5 things that happened on Tish'a BeAb, and then after that he goes to halakha Da'at. Som Harbi'i Baraba'at Yemei HaSomot Ha'elu Harei Hen Mefurashim B'Kabbalah. Som Harbi'i, Som HaHamishi, Som HaShibi'i, Som HaAsiri. And he tells you Shiba Asar B'Tamuz, Chodesh Hariri, Som HaHamishi, Tish'a BeAb, Chodesh Hamishi, exactly each one that I told you. And he continues. Last halakha of Hilchot Ta'aniyot, the Perek He, of the end of that whole section of Hilchot Ta'aniyot, Kol HaSomot Ha'elu Atidim Libatel Limot HaMashiach. When are they all going to be annulled? When are they going to do away with all the Somot? Yemot HaMashiach. Now, obviously this is not in Zekharya that we read. It's not in any place in the Tanakh. It's not in the Gemarot that we're familiar with. And it seems that there might have been a very old bariyata that deals with it. And Rabbi Haim David Halevi studied this at length. And he tells you, if you look at the rest of Harambam, so not only are we going to stop fasting, they are eventually beginning to come days of happiness, days of holidays. And he continues the pasuk that we read now from Zekharya. So the point is that Harambam is telling us that the words Yemot HaMashiach, because Yemot HaMashiach gives us that vision of something that's permanent, something that's lasting, something that we cannot cancel, and because it's permanent, it itself can cancel the fast. We're looking at a different time. It's a time that we're not there yet. But this is the key of Harambam. Once you do that teshuvah, the teshuvah actually gets there. Rabbi Shilush also deals with this whole concept of whether we should continue fasting or not. And he looks at it that our entire realm of fasting that we're thinking about, and we're thinking that we have the Geulah, and we have, Yerushalayim, we have Harabait, and we have everything. He goes, we have nothing. He goes, we really don't have anything at all. He goes, even in the days of the second Beit HaMikdash, they actually still fasted on Tish'a BeAb. And we know that through these perakim of Zekharya, where he never gives a clear answer as to stop fasting or not. But we could go further. If you look at the Mishnayot, Masechet Rosh Hashanah, right? Al Shisha Chodashim HaSholachim Yoseim, and one is one of them, Al-Ab, Mipnei Ta'anit. So why are they going after the Ta'anit if there was no Ta'anit? There was still a Ta'anit. We have a Bariyata in Yerushalmi Besa, and Rabbi Hananiah discusses if the Kohen can actually make Tebilah on Tish'a BeAb. Rabbi Hananiah lived when? During the times of the second Beit HaMikdash, and he even actually died before the Hurban of the second Beit HaMikdash. So if he was talking about that, it means there was still fasting on Tish'a BeAb. Also, if Zekharya actually abolished Tish'a BeAb and all the other fasts, and then that means that the Tanaim had to reinstitute them post 68 CE. So we're talking about a span of about 600 years. Gezerah of that measurement, of that weight, of that that importance would have to been recorded someplace. It's not in the Mishnah, it's in the Gemara. Doesn't appear any place such a gezerah that they reinstituted the fast. So, I mean, the fast never stopped. We even recently found some Dead Sea Scroll fragments, and I'm saying fragments because it's not conclusive yet, but there seems to be lamentations over there, and these are from an area in Qumran where they know the people actually abandoned that area prior to the Hurban of Beit HaMikdash Sheni. So if they had lamentations, they had kinot over there, what are they saying kinot over there? They're saying kinot for the first Beit HaMikdash during the time that the second Beit HaMikdash was still around. So the temple stood. There were a large percentage of Jews living in Eretz Israel, but it wasn't enough. The Rishonim say you have to have peace. The Gemara tells you have to have peace. And most Rishonim tell you peace starts with the Beit HaMikdash. You have Rashi and the Meiri say it's when the hands of the Goyim are not so strong against Israel. Though they're still strong against us. We admit it, not admit it, we're still dealing with them on a regular basis. Okay, let's say the UN is a joke and it's out there. But you're still dealing with your surrounding neighbors. You're dealing with Iraq and Iran and Lebanon and Hezbollah and Hamas and all of them. So we have that pressure constantly. So they're on top of us. We have a state for 71 years, and within that 71 years, we have at least 7 real wars, besides all the other small, stupid things that are going on. Okay? We have non-stop terrorists within the country and right on our borders. We need a full redemption. We don't have that redemption. We'd like to think that we have it because we travel Israel frequently and it's growing, it's flourishing. It's not there yet. It's not only about physical redemption. We pray in the Amidah every day, day in, day out, 3 times a day. Everything that we say in the Amidah all ties into this concept that we need a real Geula. And only with that real Geula can something happen. Okay? And until we change all that, and until we change the corrupt government and and the way things go on, where people are just out for themselves, they're just the way things are in Israel today. They're just mimicking the rest of the world. They're mimicking the United States, mimicking Europe, mimicking all types of other societies, bringing in foreign ideas that are foreign to what Borei Olam wants into Israel, and we have to change that. It may not be in our immediate hands to do it, but we have to at least think about it, keep that in mind. And these are the messages of both Zekharyas and how they connect with one another. It all has to do with Teshuvah and going back to what Borei Olam wants. Emet, Shalom, Tzedek. That's what Borei Olam wants, and these are the messages of Tish'a BeAb.